أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers, and welcome to another episode of Tajweed al-Quran al-Hakim, and we are up to Surah An-Nasr, going in the reverse order. So inshallah we'll begin as usual. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. إذا جاء, inshallah, it's been repeated a few times now, the hukum for this, so we won't stop. Nasrullah. Now notice harf al-sad and harf al-ra, they have the dark blue color, which we will always repeat, as it is quite hard to get a grasp of this at first. Nasrullah. Notice it's a very strong word apart from the noon. Nasrullahi, not Nasrullahi, even though this mistake is not often made. But if you notice as well, just like the sad and ra have the dark blue, also when you look at Allah, that has the dark blue color as well, which shows you that the harf al-lam is mufakham. Now, I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but harf al-lam is only mufakham in lafz al-jalala, kalimat Allah, and only sometimes. Obviously, when you read Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it's not mufakham, it's muraqqaq. You're not saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, for example. You're saying Bismillah, so it's muraqqaq. And if we haven't already explained this, we'll come to it later, inshallah. But all you need to know for now, in this instance, it's actually mufakham. Nasrullahi wal-Fath. وَرَأَيْتَ, not وَرَأَيْتَ. Notice the difference. وَرَأَيْتَ, وَرَأَيْتَ. The second one is incorrect. وَرَأَيْتَ. The only ra has tafkhim, so it needs to be strong. And ra isn't always mufakham, inshallah. We'll come to this as well. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ, not النَّاسَ. This is very often made as well. People say النَّاس because of the usual dialect they use, or the accents that they use. It ruins the correct way of recitation. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ. Yad. Now, this, a lot of people seem to not want to do the qalqala in the middle of the word. They see it as quite heavy, or as if you're adding things to the word. But this is the correct way to do it during recitation. يدخلون. Not يدخلون. This bounce must be noted. يدخلون. حرف الخاء is مفخم. Not يدخلون. يدخلون. Notice it's very deep. حرف الخاء. في دين الله أفواجا. Again, now you notice the difference between نصر الله and في دين الله أفواجا. فسبح بحمد ربك. ربك, not ربك. فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره. This word is quite difficult. واستغفره, because you have مفخم حرف الغين. not واستغ. No. واستغفره. Then you have حرف الراء, which is مرقق. And حرف الراء, we'll make an episode about this inshallah. Now notice the small حرف الجيم after كلمة واستغفره. There's the jim, which means جواز الوقوف. You're allowed to stop. So it's up to you whether you want to stop or whether you want to carry on. Because as you know, while reciting the Quran, if you do stop at a place or a stopping point that isn't marked, then you may have made a mistake in the recitation, as in you would have changed the meaning. I'll give an example of this in the same surah. If I say إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح, this completely distorted the meaning. So إذا جاء is not a complete sentence, so we don't know what's going on. Then you stop as if the meaning has been completed, which it hasn't. Then you say نصر الله والفتح, which again is not a complete sentence. So you have distorted the meaning. Even though someone who knows the surah will know what you mean. However, you must read in a manner that as if you're telling it to someone who has never heard it before. So the meaning must be complete in every breath you take. If, for example, you run out of breath, and you should try to avoid this, at a stopping point which does not complete the meaning, what you do in that case is go back a few words so that the meaning will be complete. And we will demonstrate this now, inshallah. So, let's say, for example, you have a very short breath and something like this happens. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. Something like that. So you notice جواز الوقف واستغفر. So this shows you that you don't need to be an expert. After you see this, you may stop and you may carry on. So you may say فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره. Or you may say فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. Also, we have a general rule we can say that says العرب لا يتوقفون على متحرك. The Arabs, or let's say someone who wants to speak the Arabic language properly, does not stop on a harakah. So does not say, for example, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. This is incorrect, because you're stopping at a harakah. If you stop, it must become sukoon. And hukm al-sukoon must then be carried out. For example, if you stop at Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahimi, and if you carry on, then you may not do the med, because the reason for the med, for the prolongation, is no longer there. So you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim إذا جاء. This is not allowed. Why? Someone may be thinking, often we hear the reciter starts with a prolonged basmala. So he will say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So then from the top of their head they would say, okay, this is a rule now, so we may do this when we wish as well. But I have a very long breath, so I'm going to carry on. So they will say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim إذا جاء. This is incorrect. If you want to prolong it, you must stop, because only when there's sukoon you may prolong it, as we've previously mentioned when we were describing this or explaining this. إنه حرف النون obviously has the غنة, which we've gone through more than once. إنه, and then the small waw is exactly the same as normal waw. So we do not say إنه, no, we say إنه كان توابا. And this meme, I don't think we've explained it properly yet. This small meme, as we've already said, we'll just remind the viewers that we're going to explain, inshallah, in due time, the reason for all these ahkam, not just how to, what to look out for color-wise and sign-wise to know how to recite. This is the beginning stage in order to simplify things for the reciters, because it's very important that recitation gets done properly, inshallah. So, إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. Why do we have harf al-mim, that small meme on top of the ba? Because if you're stopping at the end, which is the case most of the time, then you don't need to worry about the small meme. If you are carrying on, then you do not say إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is incorrect, because you have another hukum which we will explain afterwards, inshallah. You say Tawwaban Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, so, with the next surah. So that tanween al-fath, which usually gives the sound of noon, Tawwaban, then turns into a meme. The noon turns into a meme, which is called iqlab. And we don't want to go into this too much right now, but generally we say tawabam, as if you're going to say tawabam, but then obviously you don't say tawabam because you have a ba. Then you have to take hukm al-mim with a ba, which becomes ikhfa. So from iqlab to ikhfa, so it says tawabam bismillahir rahmanir rahim. And I wouldn't worry about this too much, inshallah, not to complicate things in the early stages. In a few episodes, we will start, inshallah, explaining things in detail. Let's move on before we run out of time. And we have roughly 5 minutes left, so let's recite Surah Al-Kafirun, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. Now, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل, straight away you start with تفخيم. قل يا أيها الكافرون. We won't do explanation for the med. We've done this too many times now. Al-Kafirun, it's quite a difficult word to say properly, even though the Wahhabis will be an expert at saying this word because they like to do takfir. Anyway, so Al-Kafirun. Notice it's muraqqaq until you get to harf al-ra, the letter of ra. Al-Kafirun, no run, run, slight difference. Obviously, we remind you of idhar because you have a noon, which now becomes sakin because you're stopping at the end of the ayah in most cases. So you'll say al-kafirun. I will exaggerate so you can hear the noon, but it needs to be done just so you feel that you've prolonged it enough for the listener to listen to it. Al-kafirun, just one letter. La a'budu ma ta'budun. It's simple enough, inshallah. Wala antum. Notice the method of ikhfa when it comes to antum. It's different to other letters, as we've previously mentioned. Abiduna ma a'bud. Now, even though this should be quite obvious, but maybe some would read it as abidun because they would say, where's the alif? Most people would know. But someone who's just starting to read in Arabic would possibly recite it as abidun and would not know why it doesn't have the alif. So this small dash that you see in the sort of mild yellow color, this shows that you must prolong it as if the alif is written there. It's the same, for example, with Rahim. أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. Now notice the dal has a qalqala, so you must concentrate on this a bit more than I've just done. So you say ما أعبد, like that. If you were to carry on, the qalqala naturally goes. There's no way to do this. You can't bring a qalqala when there's a harakah. So it would be something like this. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. Now ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. The med, inshallah, is clear. أنا, this usually people have problems with this. They would say ولا أنا عابد, because you see the med أنا. So why do we not say أنا عابد? The answer is this is called majzoom, so you do not say it even though it's written down. Similar to when you have the gray colors. If you notice, look on the mushaf, you would see أنا has a circle. It's not sukoon, it's different to sukoon. It's just a normal circle. Sukoon is slightly drawn differently. This means also, just like the gray, that the letter is not pronounced. So you would say ولا أنا, not أنا, أنا. One harakah, not two harakat. ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. Now this is quite difficult and we only have 2 minutes left, so we'll try to explain quickly, inshallah. عابد ما عبدتم. We don't say عابدun, even though tanween al-dhamm is there, but because there's a meme straight away, you must draw it out in a different style. So, if you have a pen and paper, write عابدun with a noon, put a noon at the end. Imagine there's a noon there, because tanween is just like a noon. Now, if you have a noon, this noon is sakina, abidun, not abidunu or abiduni, it's quite obvious. So abidun, you have a noon with a moving meme straight away. Abidun ma. So you cannot pronounce the meme. You cannot pronounce the noon because it would make it incorrect. So straight away you would go to the meme, and the meme has shadda because it's called idgham. And we will explain this as we've mentioned already. Abidum, notice the lip movement. Wala ana abidum ma you don't see the noon, you don't see the movement of noon. I'm not saying abidun and changing it, straight away to the meme. And this is why it's in the gray color. Abidum ma abadtum, not ma abaditum. Someone might come and say, okay, but you said harf al-dal has qalqala, qutub jad, it's part of the letters that have qalqala. So why have you not said abaditum? Why? This is a valid point. Yes, harf al-dal is from huruf al-qalqala, and it does have sukoon. It doesn't say abadatum or abaditum. Yes, it has sukoon. But because, again, same with the noon, if the noon has sukoon, straight away followed by a moving meme, the noon gets cancelled. Same thing with harf al-dal. If it has sukoon and it's followed by harf al-ta, a moving ta, then naturally the sukoon and the whole letter goes. So you end up with abadtum. You don't hear a dal at all, even though it's written down. Abadtum. Wala antum abiduna ma a'bud. Now meme, when it has sukoon, in most cases, we will explain harf al-meme also in detail in a separate episode. Is usually idhar. So you'd say wala antum, make sure the noon is heard. Wala antum abiduna ma a'bud. This is explained previously because it's the same ayah. Lakum dinukum waliya deen. Now, waliya deen, I've just said it, but when I recited it, I said waliya deen, and we've explained this, but just to refresh the memory of the viewers, inshallah, because there is sukoon as I am stopping, I am allowed to do 2 harakat, which is 1 second, 4 harakat, which is 2 seconds, or 6 harakat, which is 3 seconds. So you may choose any one that you wish to make the recitation in the best manner and the most beautiful manner, inshallah. And this is the least we can do when we are reciting the greatest book and the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, we will end with this, and with your prayers, inshallah, we will continue in the same manner that we are doing until we get to the episodes that will have the most benefit. We didn't want to rush too much to these episodes. We want to explain the simple manner of reading so that the viewers will be able to confidently recite for their salat in front of their family members, and inshallah they will have the knowledge to also teach this great knowledge, inshallah ta'ala. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon the Messenger and his pure progeny, and may Allah's damnation fall upon the enemies of the Prophet and his pure progeny. And may Allah make us of those who benefit from the knowledge of Quran and from Ahlul Bayt, peace and blessings be upon them, whom the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his progeny has said, they shall never be separated, the Quran and my pure progeny. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.